Daddy just went out for cigarettes and he's never coming back.
Daddy, you don't smoke cigarettes?
Daddy, you got no lungs. Well, we're back here on the Skimbo Lounge. And I'd like to start by quoting a wise philosopher who once said, when you talk like that, put that shit to work. Make that kitty hurt. Make that kitty squirt. Tell me what's my name. Make that kitty yearn. Teach me how to jerk. Make that kitty learn. And I, of course, am Alex.
And I am Rory as always, and for some reason that quote reminded me that I have like half a gallon of spoiled milk in my fridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Does the music of Doja Cat usually make you feel that way?
I was going to ask if it was Doja Cat. You seem to be on a bit of a tear. But, you know...
can't help it, Rory. She's running through my dreams.
I guess, man.
I found out an interesting thing, Rory, after all our joking about one of us getting to date her. Do you know what that was?
Yes, it was a joke. Go on.
She exclusively dates white guys.
Oh, boy. What a chance I have now, because if anyone's white, it sure is me. Not to toot my own horn, but I am chalky as fuck. And I am Rory as always. Did I already say that? I don't fucking care.
I don't remember.
You know what? And on this week's episode, we have the exact opposite of curdled milk. It's one Mr. Bobby Gaglini. How you doing, Bobby?
Oh, hey there, Rory. How's it going? I'm doing good, man. I'm really good. I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm here.
Did you like being compared to spoiled milk? I'm sorry, the opposite of spoiled milk?
Well, the opposite of spoiled milk is fresh cheese, right? Or no? Well, I don't know. Or perhaps it's just a dead cow. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, Werner Herzog.
Perhaps it is just the problem. You are not thinking of spoiled milk in the right way. But yeah.
You've given me a lot to think about. I'm going to be pondering this for the rest of the night now. Spoiled milk, opposite, cheese, dead cow, non-spoiled milk?
I had a roommate who said something like that in college. She said, when does cheese go bad? And our other roommate looked at her and went, it doesn't. It just becomes better cheese.
And see, I don't know if that's true. I really don't.
I want that man to eat a Kraft single that's been sitting out on the counter for 20 years. I mean, perhaps it's so artificial, maybe, I don't know. But
it's like McDonald's when they do those tests where they leave it out. And they're like, would you eat this? Look, the animals don't eat that. And I go, yeah, it's rotten. What are you talking about, PETA? You fucking assholes. You're just wasting good burgers. It wasn't already dead. It's not like you can throw it back on the cow. Ridiculous. Oh, God. So, Bobby.
Yes.
You know, you and me have known each other for many, many years now. You know,
12 years? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Really close to it. And, you know, we used to all live, all of us, in Boston for many years. And then at a certain point, we all kind of went our separate ways. That's and, right. You know, you're out in L.A. now on the West Coast. And, you know, just with all the craziness, I guess the thing I wanted to ask to sort of get the ball rolling on the episode was, you know, we've been doing a lot of the COVID talk just because, you know, that seems to be that's the hot button topic in the news. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention out there.
Oh, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
We can't even. It's not even a bit. That's not funny, Bobby. Yeah. That's not funny. This is a real thing.
You're right.
God,
we just can't even. To bring out my basic white girl, I can't even. And but I wanted to just know a little bit, you know, about what the West Coast take is on it all. You know, we've seen some of the shit going on in California, but what's it like in LA, you know, during the lockdown? How's that shit been, man?
You know, it's good because there are a couple people that I'm close to just at my apartment complex that we can hang out. It's all right. It's like, hey, we're all in this sort of insular area, let's hang out. But in terms of LA in general, LA is a weird place, and that is the kindest adjective I can use. It's the land where anti-vaxxers live, you know? So it's like everyone in New York, I'm sure, because that was truly like, you heard about New York just getting boned real hard. And And so I'm sure there people are taking it decently seriously for the most part, maybe. No, not at all.
Not even a little. When I went out, I told you before, for dinner, I decided to venture out and was like, fuck it, I'm getting McDonald's today. It's a nice day out. I'm going to throw my mask on and I'm going to head on out. And I would say that today of all days was like a 40-60 split. 40% of people wearing masks, like 60% not.
Okay.
And the people that I did see wearing masks, I would say literally half of that number were those people who put it down like by their neck.
Under
just
their
wearing
nose.
it down here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So LA is similar, although I would say that number is more like 20% to 80% of people not wearing masks. Even when this was even when LA was experiencing a little bit of a burst in cases, most people were not wearing masks. Most people were not social distancing. It's a pretty selfish culture. And like I say that tiptoeing a little bit because there are a great number of great people out here, but
wow, that's shocking. LA's full of selfish people, you say.
I know, right? Yeah. Think you know a city. But yeah, so that's kind of the weird part. Like I went for a hike the other day and it was I don't know, it was just no one was wearing a mask and like that's okay, I guess, but there were people in major groups and it's just a weird time. But whatever. Right? They're right. Whatever. We're all going to die
someday, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Actually, it was an interesting thing I saw in the news. Did we talk about this on the last episode, Alex? Where I saw this report of this scientist who reversed aging in mice.
We didn't, but the first thing I have to say is hearing you call me Alex is the weirdest thing in the world. It's like you calling me Jamarcus. Like,
would you prefer me to just go back? I'm trying to figure out the correct way to. I'll just keep calling you Koch.
Just say Koch. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude.
Sometimes
I hate
you do.
it.
I don't know why you hate
Sometimes
it.
maybe it's good. I keep wanting a name like Frank Zappa, but
you want me to call you Dweezil from now on? I can call you Dweezil.
Or Moon Unit, either one.
Yeah.
Moon Unit.
Yeah.
Diva is their youngest daughter.
We'll call you Moan Unit. How's that sound?
Oh.
It's like Doja Cat, but for you.
That's your porn name right there.
Yeah.
It's like the burn unit for strippers, the moan unit.
Yeah, your butt's all wet for Doja Cat, so we'll call you Moan Unit.
I love it. Anyway, what was the question?
Well, I was going to say,
in mice.
Because he was like, we're all going to die one day, but apparently not. Maybe not. There was
not the wealthy.
Well, there's all these like genetic signs of aging, telomeres and all of these weird things, and this guy took this old ass mouse and reversed a lot of the genetic markers for aging in it.
The most unscientific explanation. This guy took an old ass mouse, right?
I am a layperson, so I.
When did Mitchell join us?
Listen, if I had said that this was a conspiracy to, I can't figure out how that goes. Well, you don't understand. It's the billionaires and the Russians are vampires. And they're taking the bloods of young people. Well, that was another report I read about these Russian. Oh, we seem to have lost Bobby. He disconnected.
No, we just lost Bobby.
That's okay.
Well, I guess we've just got to keep going without him.
Well, we can just cut and then
he'll come back in. Yeah,
we can just. Well, if you want, we can cut and start back. Just cut this as a moment. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. Part of me goes, warts and all. He disappeared for a stretch. Let's let him hear it.
All right,
part
fine.
of me goes, a professional would probably wait and get him back on the line.
Well, what do you want to do? I leave it to you since you're the guy who edits this.
Let's keep it going for. Let's see how long this takes him, and if this is an inordinate amount of time, then maybe we chop it.
Okay.
We reserve the right to chop based on the length of absence.
Well, just in case we leave it in. Because we're 3,000 miles apart from Bobby, there's going to be some technical issues. Like he just completely dropped out of.
Well, first his video froze, and I was like, okay, well, it froze in a pleasing position. I feel weirdly safe.
Oh yeah, he's great looking guy. Great looking guy, that Bobby.
He is.
And
nice
and his voice kept
behind.
coming through, so I was like, okay, it'll be fine. And apparently, it's not.
It's not fine.
It was not fine. And he has disappeared. Yeah, old ass mice. And
that's a great hipster band name, Old Ass Mice.
That's pretty good. I'll have to send that along. There he
Oh,
is.
he's back.
Oh,
All right.
boy. Press the button
All right, we're
for
leaving
video.
it in. We're leaving that in now.
Great. So we already informed everybody that we were going to have some issues with connectivity. So that's
Hello, Lynn.
that's fine. Oh, I see in the background. Look at me. My name's Bobby. I have connections to other people.
I have a fiance.
Could you
Those
guys
aren't even
hear me
saying
at
it, ladies
all
and
when I
gents.
froze?
We heard you for a little while, and then all of
Okay.
a sudden you disappeared.
Mother of God, I'm so sorry.
It's
well,
it's quite all right.
I'm just gonna drink more. I mean, let's see if we can get
We-
that. Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah, drinking an
That's good
drinking an
ASMR.
IPA.
Enjoy the.
It'll be a
Rocky
fun
Mountain
episode.
Refreshment. Oh yeah,
It's a loose episode.
that's
Keep
right.
it loose.
It's a loose episode. Are we? So we're still just going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get loose. Yeah.
We just kept going.
Loose. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Oh sure. We don't give a fuck. So old ass mice.
What are we
just-
talking about? Head lice?
Old ass mice.
Oh, old ass mice. All right, fine. That's fine.
And head lice and them living forever. Well, because it was because you were saying, we might, we're all going to die. And I hope so. I hope you're right. But then I had saw a report about this guy reversing the aging in mice so effectively, apparently, that he had thought that he had lost the mouse. And he was like checking to find it. And he, like, because he had all the other subjects around that were just younger mice. And he was like, oh shit, it's this one. I did it. Now, it hasn't been peer reviewed yet. It hasn't been duplicated. But as far as it goes, unless this guy's a massive fraud, in mice, this guy has effectively reversed the aging process in a very significant way through various factors.
Now, what your source is? It 8chan or just 4chan?
It was both, and I just want to let you know that I am gay if we are to believe what they had to tell me afterwards. Which, again, we went over this last episode. Everybody's gay but that 10-year-old on the internet telling everybody they're gay. And watch out, because if you try to argue with him, he's going to swat you. So I found this article to be particularly scary. It brought me down a really interesting rabbit hole.
That's nuts.
There's these Russian oligarchs. I don't even know if they're all oligarchs, but, Russian billionaires. And did you ever watch Silicon Valley?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So do you remember the Blood Boy episode?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That is a real thing. That's not a joke.
No way.
Yeah,
I thought it was made up. I thought they made up the whole thing.
Nope, they did not.
Man. Okay.
And so I read a report about this Russian billionaire who constantly gets his blood, like dialysis, basically. I mean, that's that process where they would take the blood of these children that he would buy, and then he would have it transfused into his body as a regenerative process. Now, I don't know the effects of whether or not that's like it works, but I just found that to be a really scary precedent. So we might be actually one of those, we might be seeing at least the first people who live to be hundreds of years old, or at least
We
over
might be knocking on
150.
the door of a phenomenon that I've been waiting for a long time. The eternal Kardashian.
I was going to say, yes, we all know you like Doja Cat. Shut up about it.
No, she's going to be just fine. Don't worry.
There was a picture circulating like maybe 2 weeks ago of one of the Kardashians without any makeup on. And
Really?
yeah, and it was like, oh my God, they're ugly on the outside, just like they are on the inside. Like it's
They're just like us.
yeah, it was.
Did you wake up in a Lindsay Lohan movie?
Yeah, I felt that way. I was like, oh shoot, this is the Lindsay Lohan documentary they shot 10 years ago, when things were going great for her. Like it was strange though. I was like, oh my God, everything in the world is just coated in this sheen that you have to look through, this filter.
It's all just glitter and Snapchat nowadays, man. I couldn't agree more, and I kind of want to see the picture of this putty person now walking around. Aren't I pretty?
You know what? She was screaming that. No, I'll find it. I'll find it for you. I forget which one it was. That would be
Tears
awful.
of gravy.
That would be awful if she just, am I pretty? Do you still I'm being vulnerable. Do you love me?
Just pulls a tooth out. Ah!
Yeah.
Everything about me is fake.
Oh, God.
Shaves off her cheek implants. Slack.
Just stabs herself in the ass and salt water leaks out.
She flies away. My planet needs me. Poof! Slam! Takes off like a rocket. Everyone, well, that makes sense.
So that's what Hollywood's like, huh, Bobby?
Yeah, so mostly that's Hollywood. It's a lot of saline solution and yeah, filters, and that's about it. But yeah, it's. Have you guys visited LA or?
Listen, you're talking to a guy who spent not 1 but 2 weeks in Los Angeles, okay? So I know a thing or two about the city, all right?
Okay, all right there. That's fine. But
What
yeah,
neighborhood are you in, for instance?
oh well, I'm in Studio City, which is the southern part of the San Fernando Valley, where a lot of porn is made. So that's
So you're right where you need to be.
I'm right where I want to be.
Walk
that's
down,
it.
see a lot of crazy characters on the street. What are they filming? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's an outdoor.
That
scene.
lady's wearing dental floss.
Hey, Bobby, you want to be a star?
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah. Oh wow, your hands are really rough.
Why is that lady's kneecaps all banged up like that, Dad?
Just get in the car. it's an interesting place. It's a world of polar opposites. There are people who are normal and people who are LA normal, which means that they think they're normal. And so the rest of the country, if they saw them, would go, "Oh my God, that poor woman! Like she obviously has something going on up here." But out here, it's like, no, those 8-inch cheekbones, those are natural. Like that's fine. She just wanted to improve herself. It's strange.
L.A. natural.
LA natural. That's what I call it. Yeah. But
Well-
again, like everyone, it is a different country out here a little bit. But it's still a great country. It's just a little different.
On
Well, I got a
that
question
note-
for you.
Oh, well, you go ahead
Oh,
first.
sorry. Oh,
No,
my God.
Fuck you.
Fine, you
terrible.
guys. I'll go. It's fine.
So I was wondering if you wanted to talk about why you decided to move to LA and when you decided to pull the trigger on the big move.
Yeah, so I pulled the trigger in 2018. I came out here not really knowing what direction I was going to head in, but pretty quickly I realized that voice acting was the direction I wanted to head in. Not only because the industry, the film industry out here is pretty difficult to break into, and I'm not gonna cheat myself into thinking that I'm out here at the right time. Like I moved out here at age 28, and like that is way too late. Like that is pretty late. And so I was like, okay, what can I actually make inroads on if I concentrate and dedicate myself fully to it? Voice acting. I also like voice acting a lot. It's a lot of fun. And the community, the voice acting community out here is fantastic. So like that's kind of how I weaseled my way into it. Still like an ongoing process, obviously. It's not going to happen overnight, but like I've made pretty good connections. Like I'm doing a lot of freelance work just because I've taken enough classes to up my skills. So that's been helpful, but I don't know. That's kind of why I came out here when I did and how it's been, I guess, in a nutshell. I don't want to drone on.
Oh, by all means, we do it all the time.
Yeah, I don't shut the fuck up ever. So this is a wonderful change of pace.
This is great.
Have you
'cause
ever heard the podcast?
I remember writing a review a little while ago about how I am a straight white male aged 30 to 40, and how I agree and approve of everything that you're saying as two straight white males. And now we've got 3 straight white males, and that's pretty cool.
The trifecta.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's beautiful. But so you're involved in voice acting now. Do you have any projects or anything that you're working on currently that you want to plug or talk about a little bit, or
So nothing like big, because I've been out here for a year and a half, and I am just getting to the point where I'm starting to get in contact with a few agents. And that's like still extremely tenuous, especially right now. There are a lot of agencies that just aren't taking anybody. But
Sure.
at least for a while. But voiceover is the one thing that they might still be interested in you. So that's kind of where I am. So nothing huge, but like it's crazy. Like I just signed up for a bunch of freelance sites while I'm doing it, so I can keep practicing what I'm doing, and those have been pretty decent. So like I'm getting a lot, and I've actually, it's weird with since the start of coronavirus, I'm starting to get auditions on freelancing websites for like actual shit. It's weird. Like I got a thing for Fuse TV the other day, and I'm like, I know what that is. Like
I've heard of them.
Yeah, like
I
what?
get that channel.
Like you're interested in me? Like are you sure? And I think it's just because everything is completely shut down right now except for freelancers, and that's a lot of it. But I don't know.
I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's cool. If there's ever a time to jump in, it's right now. And again, like I'm starting to talk to agents, and who knows where that'll go. But at least they're starting to talk to me, which is important.
I mean, that's more than a lot of people get. So
yeah.
You know.
So like getting your foot in the door, and this is a pinky toe in the door, but the door isn't closed, so we'll
it's
see.
not slamming on your pinky toe.
It's not well. Okay.
Which is nice, because we've all done that once or twice. Hit it on the coffee table. I broke it. I broke it off.
Yeah.
So, you got to watch out for that. That brings back so many bad memories. That's why my pinky toe looks all fucked up like it does. Should I go to the doctor? It'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
Facing straight up.
There was a time. I'm sorry not to get off topic, but there was a time this. What podcast am I talking to right now?
Go ahead.
In college, I remember very specifically. You probably remember Luke Gadrin.
I do.
Yeah.
I do remember Luke.
Funny as hell, dude. So he started drinking real hard about sophomore year, and he would get.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so he would get pretty trashed every night, and then in the morning he'd usually still be drunk. And I lived with him sophomore year, and so we were going to the dining hall, and he goes to open up the door, and somebody else opens it at the same time. He's wearing flip-flops, as you do as a crunchy Vermonter in February, and his toenail comes completely, just completely up. And I remember he just looked at me and he's like, "What do I do?" It was the voice of desperation and just fear, just pure fear. And good thing is he was still kind of drunk, so it was painful, but not super painful. And so a guy who we were friends with, who was training to be an EMT, he sat him down and he's like, "Well, this thing's facing straight up into the air," and Luke's like, oh my god. He's like, "Well, you have two choices. You can either leave it as it is, we can put a Band-Aid over it, or you can man the fuck up and rip it off."
I got a feeling I know what happened.
I'll leave it up to your imagination, but you can you can know. Sorry to blue ball you. No, I'm just kidding. He ripped it off. It was horrifying. But it was great. I don't know why I told that story. Feel free to cut that out if you want.
Oh, never. That's going in. See that, everybody?
fantastic.
Heavy drinking will save you when you bash your toe. That's the moral of that story.
Yeah.
Well, the important question is what happened with the toenail when it was off?
I don't remember.
The fact that nobody had to put it in their mouth is a real shame.
I know, right?
That's a missed opportunity.
I think we were all shocked. We were all just like, "Oh, this is brutal. This is so frightening." Yeah, it could have happened to any one of us because we were all wearing ripped jeans and flip flops in January, like morons. I mean, you guys grew up in
sometimes
Vermont.
Just don't feel the cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys
Oh, yeah.
guys grew up in Vermont. Like, if once it hits 33 degrees, you're out in shorts and a t-shirt.
Oh, I used to see people walk to school in shorts in 15 degrees during a blizzard. I think that was more negligent parenting than anything, but it happened. I saw that. It was a thing. So, and actually funny that you mentioned someone getting their nail ripped off, because I actually got the middle finger on my right finger, or my right hand, my right finger. I got that ripped off when I was in 6th grade. A rather large gentleman ran over my finger with an ice skate and really fucked up my finger. And I don't know, for those of you who don't know, I am pretty needle phobic. So we're gonna lose Bobby again. It looks like. I don't. Oh no, he's sort of there now. Oh, there he is.
No, but like I think you might be right.
Oh no, there he is. You're
okay,
back.
here I am. Let me. You know what? I'm gonna step away. I know this is unprecedented, and I apologize to step away, but I am going to try and cool down this laptop in a way.
Smart.
Yeah, smart. So let's see what I can do
I just
here.
hear him cracking up. This is the most professional podcast we've ever done. I just want to let you guys know this is the best one. But yeah, when I was in 6th grade, I was 12 years old, and I was ice skating, and this kid ran into us, and my fingernail, my middle finger ran over by the ice skate. It broke the bone pretty good, to the point where like I can feel my middle finger, like the bone is a lot thinner in this one spot, and the fingernail came off pretty much hanging by a thread. And I was terrified of needles, so I had them reset the bone in my finger, pull the nail off, pull the little pieces of nail in that like soft tissue underneath the nail with tweezers, and then reset the fingernail back in, all without any anesthetic. Oh my god! Now, I'm gonna tell you, listeners at home, when they tell you, that you need to take the shots, you take the shots, because that was probably one of the most painful experiences of my life. Having all of that done. And you know what the problem was is, again, I was super phobic of needles, and still am to this day, because I had a really bad experience when I was younger. That's for another podcast. But so when the nurse came up with these 2 tiny little surgical needles on a silver tray, it just kind of like reminds you of like those horror movies with like Dr. Jekyll and stuff, like, ooh, we've got the serum. And I was just, no, those aren't going into me. And the guy was like, okay, so this will be a lesson then. And I just want to let you know in the future that when a doctor tells you something's going to happen, it's going to happen. I was like, okay, sure. And then he did the whole procedure to me without that. They set the bone, they fixed the nail, they did all of that. And luckily for most of it, I think I was in pretty heavy shock. But damned if it still wasn't pretty painful. I wish I had been 12-year-old drunk when that happened.
Did you have the one tear falling out of the eye like Buster did when he was getting dental surgery?
Yeah, just paralyzed.
Just when he couldn't break the fact that he was faking a coma.
Oh no, I guarantee I screamed a lot more than that. 12-year-old me was a bit of a bitch, but still pretty baller move. Gotta tell you, no needles.
Yeah, I don't think you can even
Set
call
that
12.
shit.
I think 12-year-old you is definitely not a bitch.
Yeah.
If you had the bone and the nail and everything reset without anesthetic, that's hardcore.
That hurt a lot.
You got worse with age. That's what happened.
Yeah, man, you were way less of a bitch back then. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, you should have seen me in college. Give me the drugs. I don't want to feel anything.
That's an actual quote. That's an actual quote. I heard Rory say that on more than one occasion.
Yeah, we wrote that on the walls in the theater, so no one would forget.
You were the first person who I like really smoked out of a vaporizer with the first time.
Yes. I certainly enjoyed the vaporizers in college. That was fun.
yeah.
Actually, fun story about me and Bobby. When I was a senior and he was a junior, I was approached by the people who ran the yearly talent show at my college, which was the MLK Talent Show. It was ran by the MLK Society. And I did stand up a lot, so I'd open for a couple of some bigger named comedians. And so somebody approached me, and they're like, hey, Rory, you're kind of comfortable doing this sort of stuff, and we were wondering if you wanted to be the host this year for the MLK Talent Show. And they sent it to me in an email, so I had some time to sit there and think about it nice and hard. And I was like, oh, man, what can I get away with? And so I emailed them back. I said, I have a couple of concessions. Is it okay if I request a couple things? And they're like, sure. I go, okay. First off, I want to be able to pick my own co-host. They said, okay, that's fine, done. I said, okay. Second, I want you to rent us both tuxedos. And they kind of stopped and they were like, okay, sure. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, they said yes. I can't believe they said yes. And so I immediately was like, I already had known this whole time who I wanted to do it with. And it was Bobby. And I contact Bobby immediately. I go, Bobby, how would you like to host the MLK talent show with me? He was like, yes, absolutely. And I was like, okay, great. Meet me Friday. We're getting fit for tuxedos.
That's right. That's right. And I remember, I don't even know if I questioned it enough until we were actually getting fitted. And I was like, how? Why? And more importantly, like who?
Yep.
I
just said, if we're gonna do it, I need to pick my co-host, and we need tuxedos. And for some reason, they said yes.
Unreal.
And so every year, the MLK talent show, it starts with this. It starts with usually like a video of some kind, where they all kind of set up, like the two hosts usually set up the thing as like I think the year before it had been like a lifestyle of the rich and famous kind of thing. Like, here we are at the house of the dean of the college. Check him out, blah, blah. And so I was like, we're not going to do that. So we started spitballing. We put together the story of Bobby the night before getting ready for the MLK talent show and taking a bunch of horse barbiturates and falling asleep. So he wakes up too late. Right. And now there's like a scene where he's in the middle of it and he's like trying to figure out what happened that night. And like I'm standing over him with knives screaming. There was this kid at our college and we used to make this joke. His name was Gerhard. Now, Gerhard was everywhere. You'd go to you'd go to a formal dance or whatever, Gerhard's there. You go to a sports event, Gerhard's there. You go to the cafeteria, doesn't matter what time, Gerhard's there. I saw him everywhere.
You go to the nurse, you're sick, the health services. He's not sick, but he's there.
Yeah, he's there leaving the nurse's office. You're next, but Gerhard was in there before you. And so we did this joke about him being omnipresent, and he's in both of Bobby's suite's showers, and he's using his toothbrush and all this weird shit. One of his friends played an uncomfortable robot in a dress.
That's right. It was Chris Clemens. Yeah. So to give you a picture of Chris Clemens, in college, he was 260 pounds of chiseled muscle. Like
pure muscle, this guy.
And he's also 5'8". So imagine, not an ounce of fat on this guy. He's like 260 and just muscular. He was insane. And I
can't believe we got him to do it.
Yeah, he wore a dress, and he was I think the line was, you came up with it, Rory. It was, "Who's my G.I. Jane?" and then he goes, "I am."
In a robot voice.
"Who's my G.I. Jane?" And he goes, "I am."
And then he powers down while his eyes followed Bobby out the door. It was
good times.
We did this really weird thing. Again, it was me. I painted my face red with a Revlon lipstick and screamed in a bathroom. Did all this weird shit. But we're dressed like normal guys, and this video plays. Oh, my favorite part was, you know how like in old style cinema they do like the 10, 9, 8 countdown before the thing starts?
That's right.
Ours went 10, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. 8. So, and the best thing about it is the audience is sitting there going 10, 9, 8, 8, 8.
And you know what's crazy? I ripped that off. I remember writing that, and I ripped it straight out of The Simpsons.
Whatever.
There was like a New Year's countdown scene, and the ball got stuck, and they go 10, 9, 8, 8, 8, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna use that.
Why not? It was so good. And then so we have this weird thing, and then all of a sudden we both come out in tuxedos.
Yep.
And I don't think they knew what to make of it. We sang a song during the intermission, and it
was a Jonathan Colton song.
Oh yeah, Future Soon.
Future Soon, yeah.
And we brought somebody up on stage to serenade them. I played guitar and Bobby sang.
And remember, she was trashed. Oh my gosh, she was trashed.
I think she put her hands on you a little bit.
She got a little handsy, and I was supposed to dance with her a little bit, and she wanted to like grind on stage, and which was fine. We went with it, and it worked very well. It was so funny.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
I sure it did.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
I still to this day, I feel bad because somebody sang that "In the Arms of an Angel" song that you used to see on all like the I don't know if it was PETA or
The ASPCA
ASPCA ads. And after she leaves, and it's clearly like a song that meant something to her, and I come in and pretend to cry, and I'm like, those poor dogs and cats. And I feel like we just took all of the wind out of her song. We just totally took the piss right out of her.
I also remember the crowd specifically at that moment going, oh, like, oh no. Why? Why did you didn't have to do that? Because we had the set list beforehand. We wrote that, and we were like making a conscious effort. We are going to say this. It wasn't a spur of the moment thing.
No. Nobody. We didn't pull a single punch that whole time. And my thought process was, I'm leaving soon, so people can get as mad at me as they want.
I had another year, which is why you said it.
Yeah, and I feel like they got pretty mad at us for some of the stuff we did.
Yeah,
but that's why you don't hand us microphones. I think is what it comes down to. And look, here we are now.
Hey,
so
let's see how far we've come.
Oh, it's depressing. As I just like 3 episodes ago was telling everybody about how I got fired. So yeah, I'm doing great. Oh boy, that was one of the highlights. Yeah.
Where's this video? Where's this alleged video?
Oh, it's online still somewhere, isn't it?
It's on YouTube. I think my old YouTube page hosts it. Let me check it out.
I try to find it.
Why don't you find it?
I try to find it at least once a year because I think it's hilarious and I drink too much. And I like to take that trip down memory lane. We can link it if we want. We can put it in the Skimbo profile somewhere.
Yeah.
While Bobby's looking, it's a good time to mention what we discovered, which is long ago when we were doing the podcast in the closet in Texas. We had 9 episodes of the old closet pod, and I couldn't figure out what happened to them. Well, I went back on our YouTube for the first time in a while, and I found out they're all on there, and they were all flagged for copywritten music.
Did we use copyright music?
All over the commercials, dude. Everything I did had copywritten music in the commercials.
Incredible.
Big stuff. Like, I'll use 8 Prince songs. His estate is not notoriously litigious. Like,
yeah. So are they back
they're
up?
all back now. So if you type in the Skimbo Lounge on YouTube, because trust me, nothing else is going to come up if you do that. If you type in the Skimbo Lounge, you'll find a video called The Best of the Commercials, which is from the original Vermont 4-man pod.
Yes, wow. I remember that was one of my I listened to that thing so much. So great.
I go back every now and then when I'm wasted and just like laugh cry about it.
We didn't make any mistakes.
Look at us. We're a couple big boys. We're business boys.
Well, so there you go.
Great.
If you guys search Skimbo Lounge on YouTube, there's some treats out there for you if you want to listen to us back when we hadn't had this as way polished as it is now.
The classic closet content.
Oh, that was so sweaty. It was so... We would hang up a blanket over the door so that we would get as best sound quality because we would record through a single Yeti microphone. And... obviously, you wanted to get everything as insulated as possible. And I tell you, in Texas, it gets a little warm, everybody. And so we would be sitting in this closet, and it didn't matter how cold, because we had air conditioning. Every house in Texas has central air. So we would get it as cold as possible when we would close the door. And by the time we were done, it was like 98 degrees in that thing. And not in a fun way like the boy band. Like in a bad way, like ball sweat.
Yeah, there was no Nick Lachey with a ball gag in his mouth. I did not enjoy myself.
If anyone can find me a picture of that, that sounds like a fun thing to look at. Especially after Love is Blind.
Look inside my brain.
Rule 34, right? I mean, it's got to be there.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Let's see.
Nick Lachey with a ball gag and a furry.
How dare you? That's a Kardashian, and she's a beautiful woman without makeup on. So shut your fucking mouth.
It's not her fault that she missed an electrolysis.
This is a message for all the patriots out there who are mad as hell and aren't gonna take it anymore. I'm Alex Jones, and if you're like me, you're gonna work up a powerful hunger battling the deep state and their globalist agenda. You need a healthy breakfast, but most cereals are designed to keep you fat, stupid, and docile, so that when tyranny comes a-knocking, you'll open your doors wide in hopes that it's the pizza delivery guy. Did you order the large pie with a side of food on your throat? You need to wake up and have a bowl of my new cereal. Introducing Alex Jones's Good Neighbor cereal, the best tasting breakfast this side of Satan's gaping maw. It's GMO-free, paleo-friendly, and tastes great. And best of all, it's made right here in the US of A, specifically in my garage. Alex Jones's Good Neighbor cereal is packed with essential vitamins and nutrients, like cocaine, dietary fiber, and bull vitality. The whole grain pieces spell out hidden Illuminati messages, like this spoonful here. Says, Lerm Ye Shli Asul. Rearrange the letters. What do you get? Hillary's emails. That's right. I shouldn't have to literally spell it out for you people. The New World Order begins at the breakfast nook. But don't forget about the fun candy pieces. We've got toffee twin towers, nougat gay frogs, marshmallow FEMA coffins, and more. Folks, it's about time we face up to the facts. We're fucked. Jeffrey Epstein was the best of us, and he was a millionaire pedophile who catered to the insatiable deviant appetites of the global elite. That is why I want to cater to your appetites with Alex Jones's Good Neighbor cereal. Because if they got Epstein, what's stopping them from coming for you? You deserve a spoonful of pure happiness before the chemtrails rain fire on us and melt our flesh. So go ahead and kiss Satan right on the mouth. Maybe give him a little tongue. He'll take pity on you when he comes to lay waste to the cities of man. If you don't buy Alex Jones's Good Neighbor cereal, I will eat the people who live next door, okay? This is not a euphemism. I've been training myself for this moment by eating pieces of my peeling sunburn, and I've acquired a taste for the long pig. If it comes down to you or me, I will not hesitate for 1 second to eat your ass in front of God and all your friends. Try me. Try me! Try me! And try Alex Jones's Good Neighbor cereal, a neighborly part of this complete breakfast. It won't turn the friggin' frogs gay.
What'd you find, Bobby?
So the first thing is, so I said Nick Lachey ball gag.
Jamie, look that up.
And the first, yo, Jamie, look that shit up, bro. So the first thing that comes up is just a picture of Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson on a red carpet somewhere. There's another great one. It's Nick Lachey licking a cake. There is a bowling ball as part of the cake. So the bowling ball is cake material. On top of it is two dolls that look like Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson, and it says "Property of Vanessa." He's licking it. So I think that this is as close as we're gonna find to Nick Lachey wearing a ball gag.
What a shame.
Wow.
You'd think that the internet would come through on that one. Maybe you need to use Bing for the more dirty searches.
That's what it is. Okay.
That's what it is. Google will safe search that shit for you. So,
that's right.
You always go to Bing for the porn, everybody. I don't know if you learned that at home, but now you know.
Is that a real tip?
Oh yeah.
Do you use Bing for porn? Really?
Bing doesn't censor anything. They don't give a fuck.
Are you still watching internet porn?
Who isn't still watching internet porn? What am I supposed to be using? My imagination?
Theater of the
fuck
mind,
up.
baby. Yeah.
No.
Rory, we all have 10 years of internet porn stashed up here.
I haven't had that since I got that in that construction accident where the ball peen hammer fell 3 stories and hit me in the back of the head.
I forgot about that. What? I'm sorry to bring up your trauma.
I still got the dent, and every now and then when I touch it, I taste almonds.
Oh,
you know,
lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I love almonds, so it's a win-win.
I had
all the taste of almonds with none of the environmental destruction.
But now I just don't have the fun imagination. Now I need to watch strange horrors on the internet. doing things for money. And let's be honest. In today's society, there's a lot of them not doing it for money. They're doing it for the hope of money and not getting anywhere. And I salute you for that. Good for you. Now dance for me, you strange whore.
I saw that Mia Khalifa, who is, you probably know her.
I've never heard this name. Go on.
So, Koch, I'm calling you Koch. But
Yes,
so, maybe you've heard this, but she was in porn for, I think, 18 months, and she made $8,000.
That's it?
Woo!
That's it.
I did not know that.
That is it. And that's from her. Like, it wasn't just a statistic. She went on a podcast, I think, and talked about it. And she was like, I made $8,000 doing porn. All of it was just for the promise of something bigger down the road. And she's like, I eventually just left.
Well, maybe she shouldn't have walked away. $8,000 isn't a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to figure you got to like put out 800 videos before you do anything. But it's funny because she seems to be one of the most prominent, one of the more well-known names for, so I've heard.
Oh, sorry. I'm fact checking myself. It's $12,000.
Oh, that's much better.
That's better, right? That's way better.
That's crazy. Who would have ever thought that the porn industry was a predatory industry?
I know, right?
I am shocked.
It is weird thinking about it that I live in the San Fernando Valley and it's everywhere here.
Well, I got a question for you. What's the craziest porn-related thing you've seen out there? Because you've got to have some stories. I'll even open it up. I want to hear some of the weirder stories of shit you've seen out there in the San Fernando in Porn Valley.
Oh God.
Silicon Dildo Valley. I'm coining that.
Oh, trademark it. It's I don't even know. There hasn't been a lot of like porn related stuff that I've seen. It's just the San Fernando Valley is actually, to me, less strange than going to like Hollywood or something. Hollywood, or even like West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Westwood, that area, even Santa Monica is just a different
open it
place.
up then.
Crap. I'm trying to think. Oh, damn it! I'm going brain dead. There's gonna be something.
Too many.
There's gonna be something. I'll think of it. I'll think of one. I'll think of it soon.
Ever had a time when you were like walking down the street and some chick's being followed with a camera with the word "daddy" written on her ass? You're like, she's going to have sex. That's ending in a sex picture.
Oh, I should only have one of those memories. Okay, well, but I was just thinking, the first time I ever visited LA, so this was the time where Lynn and I were trying to figure out if we wanted to move here. And Lynn was at a job interview, so I was like, oh, I'll kill some time. I'll walk around Hollywood. It was like 8:30 in the morning. There's nobody there. Nobody wakes up that early in LA. So it's 8:30 in the morning. I'm like one of four people walking around. Right down, I think I'm walking right down Sunset, and a guy. There's a terrible homeless population in LA. It is really messed up, and I find myself getting more and more desensitized, and it's bad. But anyways, maybe we can talk about it later. But
it's the same over here. It's the same in New York.
It's pretty bad. It's awful. But so this one guy goes, "You got any money? Any change?" And I said, "Oh no, sorry." And once in a while I will give someone change, but I don't. I don't a lot of the times, and it's kind of shitty, but I don't. So he goes, "What do you mean? Then give me your credit card." And I was not expecting a retort. And so I go, no, man, I gotta go. And he starts following me, screaming, saying, "Why won't you give me money? You motherfucker, like, give me money, give me money." He then, there are only a couple people walking around. He then starts recruiting people who are walking in the opposite direction as us, starts being like, "Hey, this guy's a dick. I'm going to kill him." And people are just like, I don't know who this person is. And he's like, I'm going to kill you. Hey, this guy sucks. Hey, this guy sucks. Just trying.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was. So he followed me for about a block and a half.
Well, to be fair, you do have a very killable face. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's fine.
For everyone who can't see you at home. I know you've been told that before. I think that was under your picture in the college yearbook. Was
Killable
most killable
face.
face.
Well, Dad. I mean, sorry, Rory. But the he eventually stopped. But that was my introduction to L.A. So that was my intro to L.A. was a homeless man screaming at me, telling me he was going to kill me, trying to recruit people to also join up and kill me. So that was
Welcome
weird.
to the neighborhood.
That was weird.
Now you work for that guy.
Look, Conroy's got some crazy ideas, but you let him talk for a while. But
He's
a fucking dreamer.
Just go over these spreadsheets, Bobby, and have them on my desk by Friday. And I'm going to kill you tomorrow.
Yeah,
See you later, Jerry.
Fucking thick.
Just remember, don't forget.
Yeah.
By the way, really random question. Do you guys subscribe to Meat Canyon?
No. Go on.
Okay.
What is Meat Canyon?
All I'm going to say is any of you listeners and you, Rory and Koch as well, do it right now or whenever we're done with this podcast. It's animated.
I was going to say, I need a little more information before
Okay,
I
I'll
put my email to Meat Canyon.
All I'll say.
I think I've seen one.
You have. Okay.
You finish what you're going to say, but I think I've seen one.
Well, what do you think it is?
It's a really creepy, off-putting Bugs Bunny with like huge human nipples, who's talking about like how he's gonna fuck Elmer Fudd's plump little behind or something.
That's right. That is absolutely right. So that's me. That video is actually you can't find it anymore because Warner Brothers put out a cease and desist, and then Meat Canyon. So they took this video where Bugs Bunny literally says, "You got a tight little man pussy on you, don't you? Oh, it stinks. Nice and good." Like,
Jesus Christ.
That's like the first thing he says. That's the first thing this rabbit says. And Warner Brothers took it and basically said, "This is our property. You can't use this."
We're going to make a movie out of this.
So they took it down, and Meat Canyon, a couple weeks later, put out a video with hitting over the head with a hammer, basically being like, "I can't believe Disney would call this canon. Like, this is incredible that Disney went out of their way to make this version of Bugs Bunny canon." That's all this means, is that this version of Bugs Bunny is the same Bugs Bunny. And it was
incredible.
It was perfect. It was so perfect. I just urge you to go to Meat Canyon and subscribe.
Well, honestly, what an intelligent tactic, though, to be like, well, if you're going to copyright it, then you're saying that this is Bugs Bunny. Mm-hmm. So thanks for admitting it.
Yeah.
This is like Nazi Donald Duck. It happened.
That's right. That's right.
Have you seen those? Because I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Nazi Donald Duck?
Yeah.
I have not.
They did a lot of
haven't
war
seen it?
propaganda during World War II. And you can find those in some like places on the internet sometimes.
Oh,
Watching Donald Duck say Heil Hirohito was kind of a weird experience.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's out there. It is out there. I wholeheartedly recommend our viewers, because I know what depraved, sick son of a bitches you are, to go out there and check that out if you're looking. Like, we've all got too much time during this whole quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can't, we've all been watching the worst shit Netflix has to offer. You might as well go check out Nazi Donald Duck.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, I apologize. I need to get my charger so this computer doesn't die. It's one thing
Leaving
after
us
another.
again.
I'm so sorry. Is that okay? This is
Go.
you said this was a loose episode, did you?
Well, I didn't realize how loose. Because we sit here talking about Bugs Bunny with nipples and Nazi Donald Duck. That's where this went. Hey, so how
Look
are
at
you?
this. Wait a minute, Lynn, get in here.
Oh, see?
Look at this. This is
That's fantastic.
okay. This is my, for you listening, this is my fiance Lynn. She just brought in the cord. She heard my dilemma. She brought in the cord.
The struggle.
Yeah,
It's just one struggle after another.
You know what's funny is that not having the power to the laptop might have something to do with the lag connectivity issue. So way to go, Bobby. Very, very well. Way to think ahead.
I have rights.
Your better half indeed, Bobby. Your better half indeed.
Yeah, she's a little better than me.
Sneeze loud.
We were supposed to get married in Vermont in a month.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
boy.
that ain't happening.
That's okay.
Hey,
I hear they
have
got
anyone
wonderful
heard
online
of a
services now.
Zoom wedding, by the way?
I was just about to make a joke about that, but
Were you?
That's a real thing?
Go for it, because that's not what we're doing. So go ahead.
No. I was just gonna mock the idea of people getting married on Zoom, and now that people have done it, I feel kind of bad that they're that desperate.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I also think maybe it's out of a financial thing. I don't know. Like if they're just like, well, we paid all the deposits. We're having this damn wedding, like one way or another. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we're going for a 20 person thing in September now.
Sure.
Yeah, just to do it in person, but with a manageable amount of people.
So that's why I haven't been invited. Nice.
That's why you haven't been invited. Exactly. That's my excuse.
I wasn't invited to the other one.
I'm sorry, Rory. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I have terrible breath.
Oh.
No one wants me to be trying to sleep with the bridesmaids. They're all married too. It would not stop me. So this is the best outcome.
I've seen it done. I've seen one of my friends, who shall not be named, do that. To have sex with a bridesmaid who was married.
Hi, I'm Rory. Have a wine cooler. I've done a lot of that.
That's been your pickup line for 25 years, Rory.
It hasn't worked so far.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I refuse to change it up.
One of these days. Hey, you can't switch up the game. You never know if the next one it would have worked on.
That's true.
Look, you don't take your money off a losing horse when it does nothing but lose. That's gambling 101.
I bought all these Zimas. I gotta use them somehow. It's ridiculous. What do you mean they don't like Bartles and James? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, God, but Koch, how's everything going in Vermont, man?
Oh, well, I have a fairly unique situation that I may or may not be at liberty to discuss at any given time.
Oh.
Let me remove my earphones so I can hear how loud I'm being. I'm living in what I would like to call the Fox News spin zone. Because I reside with an individual who may or may not be half responsible for my life, who is a dyed-in-the-wool Christian Republican. So this has been an interesting experience getting the Fox News perspective all the way through. Tucker Carlson, that guy,
It's got some good
he
ideas.
makes some interesting points. Let's just put it that way. I'm a little Stockholmed, all right? Hannity, handsome guy, thick as fuck. I would. That's all I got to say about that.
How many times have you walked into the living room and Hannity's on?
You know,
Or anyone, or just Fox News in general?
how many times has the sun come up in my lifetime? Like, how many days have I lived
Oh,
on this planet? I don't know. I'm 30.
Oh.
There. It's in there.
A resounding
Plus
yes.
Plus a couple other people's lifetimes. That's what it feels like anyway.
So it's weighing on
It's
you.
crazy.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
So Rory, when you go back up north, are you guys planning on finding a place?
Potentially. It depends on how the work thing goes. Again, it's
True.
an interesting time to decide to move right now that I'm particularly interested in because I'm moving from, I'm hoping that having experience working in high-paced offices in New York City will translate maybe to me being able to get a job back in Vermont. But the thing is we're trying to get off the ground a particular project. Potentially. I don't want to talk too much about it to get, too much hype going in case it, for whatever reason it falls apart or something doesn't come to fruition. But we're trying very hard to spend the next 6 months to a year to pursue some more creative goals rather than trying to find ourselves back in an office situation. And that might stunt our capability of, say, moving to a place like Burlington, Vermont, or
Sure.
perhaps out of Vermont. And plus, the whole COVID thing is just crushing, job prospects. Unemployment's at 16%, 17% now.
Yeah, and it's just
I'm
rising.
sure. Yeah. Well, again, I mentioned it at the end of last episode. Goldman Sachs made a projection that they think it's going to hit 25.
Man.
And that would be a little bit scary. A 1 in 4, is a scary number to think about. Because when you think of my family, there's me, there's my mom, there's my dad, and my sister. And I'm already the unemployed one. So I guess I'm part of a statistic now. In a perfect world, there'd be some place to land where we could make something like that work out. At the same time, I think I'd rather pool my resources towards food and some utilities, and I'm probably going to end up living in my parents' basement for a little bit.
Everybody spread the word.
Hey,
I live in my sister's basement. Name that movie.
I was going to assume it was John Ralphio from Parks and Rec, but you said movie, so I'm lost now.
It was The Wedding Singer. Moving on.
You're the wedding singer. So I don't. It depends on how good the job market is back in Vermont.
Yeah.
And how motivated I am to go back into an office setting. Because I got to tell you, at this point, after what happened to me in the last major office, and honestly, a lot of the sort of major corporations I've worked for have taught me one thing, and that's we live in a money-oriented society. And as somebody who prides himself on wanting to pursue creative means, it's not really a healthy environment. At the end of the day, it is a very stifling environment. It is the sort of thing where they want you to dedicate yourself to the company. They want you to be a lifer. It's not about you at a certain point. It's about making the person who hired you look good. And that's a difficult thing that I think a lot of us at our age and a lot of millennials have had to come to terms with.
Sure. Is
the fact that you get there and they tell you what a great opportunity it is for you to be here while we pay you 10% less than you should be making, so that we can eventually try to shove you into a different department because it makes us look good to our boss, who happens to be the head of the department or some member of the board. I'm not sure I'm particularly enthused about going back into that sort of environment. So the next 6 months to a year of my life are pretty up in the air. Yeah.
That's fair. That's fine. Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially if you're working towards something that's important to you guys. Like, then, yeah, take some time. Shit.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, like, make it as good as it can be.
We're hoping to film something, and afterwards I'll be able to put that sweet, sweet gun in my mouth. So we got to work towards something.
I'm not leaving nothing behind. I have a legacy. I can die easy now. That's right.
One day there'll be some random kid that I didn't know about in some other city. This is what was made by your pop. I don't know why they're Scottish. Because everything's on YouTube.
Imagine that it's an unboxing of your pilot by this child who you never met, who's just like oh,
I'm the first view.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my god. She's like, wow, Dad really fucking sucked. Fuck.
I can't believe there's brains on the script, because it's clear from reading it and watching this piece of shit they didn't have any.
Yeah, wow.
One can only hope. I can only hope
I hope you have a daughter that cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Great. Shut up.
I am all aboard Rory having fucking kids. Rory as a dad is like Frieza when he evolves. Like, it's the next logical evolution for Rory.
I'm pink.
Is dad mode.
Purplish.
Absolutely.
Or what do we call it? Fuchsia. Frieza. Fuchsia.
Ooh, here you go.
See that? It's good alliteration. Yeah.
I'd love to see Spawn come out of you. My God.
They just come out super sports oriented. Won't you just throw a football with me, Dad? You're being kind of gay. Won't you just sing a libretto?
Yes.
You've been ignoring your Italian arias. I'm not going to progress.
This is ridiculous, Dad. I'm going to go pump some iron. Oh, where did I go wrong?
Look at all these women that are here all the time.
This is ridiculous.
It's like God, that you had a stand-up joke that just, even now I think about it sometimes. It's when you say like it was something about like how generations are changing more rapidly now, and how like when there's a woman who's our age now who's a grandmother, it's going to be like, oh, hi there, young Johnny. Like, thank you for hanging out with your grandmother. And just like, shut up, Grandma. I'm going to go do intravenous drugs and watch a movie in my head. It was something like that.
Dear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. And then I think the punchline you had was, the world is different.
Just something really depressing.
Yeah.
I made fun of the elderly. That's great. I'm very happy that I was a very woke 20-year-old.
It's very on brand for you.
It was.
That was great.
I used to tell jokes about like the jitterbug cell phone that old people used to carry around, and how it only had 3 buttons, and one of them you got to like pick the friend or person you wanted to call. And the joke was basically that it had been disconnected because the person had died.
That's right.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was. I think I'll call Harold today. Boop. We're sorry. The number you have dialed has been disconnected. Oh, dear. And that was the joke. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the entire joke.
Oh, it was pretty morbid. I'm so glad that I've perked up and gotten a really positive outlook on life since then. You can tell these past 10 years have been very kind to me as I get ready to move back home with my parents. Have I been self-deprecating enough for this episode?
No, you didn't mention it's the 3rd time.
Oh, it is. It's been a while.
For me, too, though. So
Actually,
it's
has it been
fine.
the 3rd? Because I moved right from Boston to Austin, so it was... Actually, no, because I had to move back for a brief period after California. Which is funny, because when you mentioned living out in California, I lived in San Francisco for a little while.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
It's funny, because the homeless population out there kind of reminded me of what you were talking about. Except it was a little weird, because when I was out there, it was during Occupy Wall Street, so you couldn't tell if it was the homeless or just very smelly protesters. All I knew is that there was a lot of Molotov cocktails being thrown in Oakland, so I needed to stay the fuck out of there, which I didn't because I played a lot of music with musicians over there, and it got scary.
Yeah.
Good times.
Oh, yeah. Good times. Mm-hmm. Well, I may be freezing again on my end.
No, we can-
no.
I see you.
No, I mean, it's
I see
on
you.
my end.
Can you still hear
we're
us?
freezing?
Can I hear you? Frieza? Frieza?
Hang on 1 second. I think I can fix this. I'll be back.
Oh my God.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I
I
swear.
don't know what he's talking about. He looks
I'll be back.
fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Does
he
he look
doesn't
normal?
know that we're trying to acknowledge him. He doesn't realize.
He doesn't understand we're hitting him with a DDoS attack. Denial of service. He's gone. Good. Now we can say things about him.
Could talk about what a piece of shit
Shit.
he is. God, he looks fat. I still would. I'd clap those cheeks like I don't know what
I think that's the name
I'd
of
eat
the
the guy's
episode.
ass. Is that what you wanted to hear?
I think that's the name of the episode, Clap Those Cheeks. I think you've said it several
Clap Those
times
Cheeks.
enough. It's either that or Rory moves home with his mommy.
Dude, dino nuggets and smiley fries till the end of days. I don't know why you're turning your nose up at that.
That'd be the funniest thing if I got back and she's like, "I made you something." Like, "Mom, I'm 30. I don't eat chicken nuggets anymore." She's like, I always see you as 12. I don't. It's okay. All right, well, I'm gonna eat them, but it's not like I'm gonna be happy about it.
I'm gonna eat them, but not because you told me to.
Can I get some ketchup for these? Can I get? Do we have?
Oh,
any
the
ketchup?
blue ketchup! I didn't know they still did that.
Looks like Bobold is coming back.
There he is.
Oh, good. Did you fix it?
Yeah, so, yeah, I fixed it.
Did you just go yell at Lynn because she was on the internet?
Get off the phone! I'm on the internet! Remember those days? God damn.
You know what I'm doing in there? Are you on Netflix? Jesus Christ!
Jesus. Can't you see I have a real thing going on here?
I'm gonna make it. Tens of people are gonna listen to this.
These two
maybe
guys-
halfway through.
These two guys said, come on my podcast, come on something else, and you'll make it, all right?
See, we were thinking the same thing about you. Oh, he's gonna bring so many people to the podcast. We can't wait. Oh, it's gonna be so great.
Honestly, I mean, I have a couple people who are, like, decently talented who might come on for a little bit, like, just to say fuck it.
Oh boy,
Dude, like,
that's
Sweet.
exciting.
honestly, actually, see, it's way more interesting talking about people I know out here than talking about myself. Like,
Can you get the Wayans brothers on the show?
oh yeah. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm talking about like real people. No, but no, Wayne's brothers would be sick. That'd be awesome. But this guy, so my friend John, who I'm actually moving in with, so good opportunity
The
to
nudist,
get him on.
yes.
He does movie scores. and he
really?
like legit movie scores. If you've ever heard of the horror movie Escape Room, he's doing Escape Room 2 right now. So like
Electric Boogaloo, yeah.
Escape Room 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's right. But he's super interesting to talk to. I know another actor who's been on Hulu shows. Like, you know, if you want people, I got people way more interesting than me.
Well, I mean, what's the bar there, though? You know?
It's true.
I mean, what's the bar with me? So
That's
people
true.
are still listening. I don't know why.
Who are your subscribers? Like, what is the general subscriber base?
We have a significant amount of people subscribed. You know, we usually get like 50 listens, and I still, for the life of me, can't understand why people want to hear me ramble on and say the word, you know, like every 30 seconds.
It's because it's people with mental illnesses who hear us and go, finally, I feel represented.
Yeah, I wouldn't
in
be
the
shocked if
podcast
there was
world.
like a psych ward somewhere blasting this through their speakers. It's time to take your pills, and we say something quirky. Yeah.
I can't remember if I said this on the last podcast with Tanner, not the last podcast, but the last one we had with the guest. When we were talking about the bad music on Love is Blind. Did I talk about how in the 90s there was this like gang of skids in Great Britain who kidnapped a woman and over the course of several days like burned her with cigarettes, and they tormented her in unimaginable ways. And one of the things they did was put headphones on at full blast and play this rave song that sampled Child's Play 3. It would just be like, I'm Chucky, wanna play? And they would just have it on her for hours on end at full blast, to the point where if one of them walked in the morning and was like, uh-oh, Chucky wants to play, she would go into like unbelievable spasms of terror. And I truly believe that that's why people listen to this podcast.
What a roundabout that was.
They just want to feel alive and a little scared.
Holy shit.
So you're saying we're tortured. Like somewhere there's like a Russian spy, and they're just like, oh, I think Rory and Koch have something to say. Niet! And
Not fit Americans! Not fit Americans!
I did it. I stole the documents. Pees himself.
Putin's just there humming our theme music. Do that. Crazy.
Hey!
That's right. I see. That's the crazy thing. I can picture Vladimir doing that. I really can.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
No, not
Well,
the
here-
Monopoly episode again. Just
I don't like when main characters fight. I like unity.
Oh, you
what
like
happened to Mitch?
you like this part. This when they do fake commercial. It's not real though. It's fake. It's good.
You cannot buy these products. That guy was Middle Eastern. Sorry.
Fucking bigot.
Get your accents right, God damn it.
Hell, you know what they say about the girl ones? They's all pink if you turn them upside down.
Jesus. Well, you know,
I heard that one too, brother. You know, I heard that too. It's not a big.
Oh, Hulk's here.
Hulkamania. Well, you know, if they said anything about the Skimbo Lounge is that we try to be as inoffensive to everybody as possible. We're trying to be PC woke over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
We try, and we fail beautifully every single time.
I gotta say, I am enjoying my time on this podcast. This is a lot of fun.
We're enjoying having you.
Oh well,
Yeah.
Can I now put you on the spot and make you do impressions?
you know what? Go for it. This is what I did to get by in high school and in college. So let's do it. It was.
You want me to do John Stamos? Don't hit me if I do John Stamos.
Yeah, it was like I can't face myself in the mirror. I can't do it. Oh, but I'm the guy who does voices. Like let's watch the funny man clap. It was
Just
that
sitting
was,
there staring in the mirror, combing
pretty-
a doll's hair.
that was
Lots of 13-year-olds work on their Jack Nicholson impression on prom night.
Oh yeah, I mean, go for it though. Put me on the spot. I don't mind.
Well, what are some that you're working on, maybe, that you want to workshop here?
My aunt is this is
We
gonna
don't know your aunt.
It's gonna mean nothing, but so my aunt talks. I'm gonna need a backup from the microphone. So my aunt talks like, honestly. So this is my aunt. She'll just go, "Hello, how are you? Hi, hello, how are you? Hi, my name's hello." And so that's my aunt.
It's like I'm in the room with her.
Yeah, it's weird. She constantly. I don't. It's weird. But anyways, that's my aunt. Fuck. You know, it's whatever.
That's not at all what he expected.
Let's see. But things that people might know. Let's do that. I don't know. Shit.
No, that was perfect. I can't even.
Things that people are things that I'm working on.
Now do my aunt.
Your aunt? Rory, so your dad's been talking about you leaving the toilet seat up, and that can't happen. Oh, you meant your. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just fast forwarding a couple months. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said aunt, not my mom.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Do your parents listen to this at all?
Oh no, I don't think so. If they do,
my dad
I am
did
so
once
sorry.
and was like, "What a bunch of fucking garbage! You guys just get on there and you yammer like a bunch of fucking stoned idiots." I went, oh, "Well,
You're not. No, it's like okay, so you did get it.
So you
All
get
right.
it.
All right,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. Okay, so you did get it. All right. Well, good. But no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, who the hell knows what impressions I can do? They just come out sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I can do something. Like that's funny. I don't
All
know.
right, do John Stamos with his nuts attached to a car battery. No, too difficult.
All right, okay, you got it. All right, give her the juice, Mary Kate. Woo! That's it.
That was
That's
good.
my-
I was waiting for the Have Mercy, but that's good. I like that.
Oh no. This is him playing. This is him playing with the Beach Boys. that's him at 50. You know. That's fine. I saw John Stamos play drums for the Beach Boys. I can't believe that
Really?
I can say that. Yeah, he's
What?
a decent drummer. He's not a great one. He can hold a beat. But
yeah."
yeah,
Most handsome people just get away with being okay at everything.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, and I mean, he was playing in the round at the Melody Tent in Hyannis on Cape Cod, and he it was a bunch of octogenarians and John Stamos. No, that was it. It was pretty great.
Wait, so which Beach Boys were there? Was it Brian, Mike, and Al?
Look at you.
Brian,
Carl and Denny are
First
dead.
names.
yeah, it was it was Brian and Mike. Al wasn't there.
Okay.
But Brian still has it. Brian was amazing. Like he's fucking awesome. Like it was just cool to be able to see him. That was like the one thing I was like, oh shit, I got to see Brian Wilson. Like that's pretty cool. But
They just bring out a bed and he lies in it.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Okay, guys.
Lying in bed, just like
Oh,
Brian
great
Wilson
song.
did. Oh,
Yep.
I love that song by Bare Naked Ladies. Absolutely.
Bill
Tanner
BNL.
is gonna shit his pants when he gets to this part of the podcast.
He's
Good.
a big BNL fan, or
He's a big BNL fan. He and a bunch of our other friends and I got into the Beach Boys. Heard. We got hooked on the old Beach Boys right in the old main line.
oh yeah,
This was when I had already moved to New York, and I was not around for any of that. I don't believe, because I don't remember any of you guys listening to Beach Boys. Just a bunch of shit.
whatever, man, whatever.
I missed the Beach Boys phase, which is a shame.
It coincided with the Beatles phase, Rory, if you must know.
Yeah, see, I missed that. The best part of my relationship with our friend of the pod, Tanner, was when we would sit around playing NHL and listening to David Bowie. A lot of Let's Dance. Oh, stuff.
Yep.
love
That's yeah. But honestly, man, same thing with the Beach Boys. I mean, yeah, it's fucking great. Like it's awesome. And I know that speaking of Beatles and Beach Boys, if for those of you who can't see, which is all of you, Rory just yawned.
It's all the beer. It's not you.
Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. But there was a period where John Lennon when he was taking acid every friggin' day, was carrying around Pet Sounds with him on vinyl. And anyone he would meet with any musical talent or anything, he would be like, we're listening to this right now. And he would just play Pet Sounds for people because he had lost it. But also but also he was that enamored with it. So like,
Well, isn't it funny because, and again, correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not really up on the history with the Beatles or the Beach Boys, other than the fact that I know John Lennon was a bit of an asshole.
Yep.
Yep. I know all the basic information, but didn't Brian Wilson hear which was it Abbey Road or was it there was one he heard like after he had released Pet Sounds and he was like, "Oh my god." It sent him into a deep depression because he listened to one of the Beatles albums that came out right around that time and he was like, this just
Revolver came out in 1966, same year as Pet Sounds.
Yep.
There was,
and then
maybe
Sgt. Pepper came out in 1967. Maybe it was Sgt.
Might have been Sgt. Pepper. It was one of the things where he read it or he listened to it and he was like, this just destroys Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
This is on such a different level. This is revolutionizing music in a way that I just could not accomplish, and it sent him into a really deep depression because he saw it as kind of like being such a level above what he had just done that it fucked him up in a really profound way. And I could be wrong. Maybe it's not the Beach Boys, but I feel like...
I think I remember reading Paul McCartney heard Pet Sounds and was like, shut down the Beatles. We will never make anything this good.
Maybe I have it backwards then.
I thought that was it, but I don't know.
No, you
Jamie,
could be right.
Look that up.
I could be backwards on it. Maybe it was Paul McCartney.
Yo, Jamie, can you look this up? Yo, type in gazelle fucking an antelope. It's fucking dope.
Hey, have you ever tried DMT?
Yo. So I do an impression of Joe Rogan that is not Joe Rogan because all my impression of Joe Rogan is yo, this shit's fucking dank, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my yo, Jamie.
That's all he says.
Yo, Jamie, fucking hit this shit, bro. It's fucking.
I gotta tell you,
angel dust, PCP,
Sherman Henry,
ash.
Larry. I gotta tell you, lately, man, I'm selling on Joe Rogan. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast, and not to poo-poo on other podcasters. But I feel like Joe Rogan's kind of running out of steam on episode 1,500 and blah or whatever he's on. He's doing one a day for years now, and sometimes he has people on. I was fascinated when he brought Alex Jones on. I'll be honest, and I watched the whole fucking podcast.
As did I.
And I'm not sure if I am super happy about the fact that he gave Alex Jones a platform. I don't feel like he challenged him enough for certain. I wonder sometimes if Joe Rogan does his viewership a disservice by normalizing people with dangerous ideologies. And I feel like a lot of that might be happening now, and especially because he's getting a lot of comedians on lately, and comedians aren't the people who challenge Joe Rogan. And so
Right.
I just feel like he's pushing this sort of toxic bro culture right now that's a little bit more towards the right. And again, I don't want to get too crazy into politics on the show. We've done that in the past, and I don't think that's necessarily where we usually want to go these days. But there's something lately about Joe Rogan I'm kind of selling on. I don't know if you guys feel the same way if you've listened to any of his stuff lately, but I'll get a little ways into it and go, this is the same shit I heard 2 years ago. Where are we going with this?
Well, I can't say I'm a big enough fan to weigh in. I don't listen to every episode, so I don't know. That said, it's tough because Alex Jones. If there's an interview with Alex Jones you can find it on YouTube. It's him and.
No, I won't do that.
Yeah, nor should you. But it exists. Believe me, it exists. So yeah. It's Alex Jones being interviewed by NBC or MSNBC, one of the two. And they're challenging him with questions, and all he's doing is being hostile. And so for Joe Rogan, it's a part of advocating for having him on the podcasting and letting him speak is that he'll just become enraged if you try to, really try to grill him. He will just become
Sure.
enraged, and you won't get anything. You won't get anything but the vitriol you already hear. If you actually want to get to him, it's almost like you kind of have to play his game a little bit, which sucks and is fucking awful. But at the same
Sure.
time, that might be the only way you get it. I don't know.
He is. He's kind of like a carny. He's like a pro wrestler. He's not going to drop character no matter what. He's going to stick because like he has like legal ramifications tied up in how much of this is Alex Jones as a character versus Alex Jones the person. That's how he got out of the Sandy Hook stuff. So he has to be careful. So I don't think you'll
That's
ever
true.
get like a real interview with him until he's ready to like Frost Nixon that shit on his deathbed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
And even
absolutely.
then he'll be like, the legend outlives the,
Yeah.
you know?
Honestly,
Well, it's like I don't know about you guys. It's the issue I have is, I mean, I'm on that opinion that it's clearly not a character. He clearly does believe a lot of that stuff. A lot of that does come across in his interview. I mean, I just don't know. I can't necessarily say that because look at like say Stephen Colbert in his conservative character that he does, and how
Right.
good he is at it, and how easy, how seamless and flawless he does that. He doesn't drop that character at all.
dude,
he just
he
kills it.
The way you're talking right now, I don't know what would happen if Alex Jones was the Andy Kaufman. Like that would that would ruin me. I would be so, I don't know what I would do. Like that I mean, I'm not saying that's who he is. I think he's a fucking awful person. Even if he is
Probably.
even if he is an Andy Kaufman. Like even if he is playing a character that's
Well, the enablement,
Yeah, it's
the,
like
the enabling of these
it's
people.
Like, it's like fuck you for playing that character. But like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what.
It's
I'm
a
saying.
good question. Well, no, I get what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
at a certain. I think I know where you're going. At a certain point, even if he is playing a character, it's a pose law is what it's called, and that's there's no level of sarcasm that you can hit either in text or in person, in dialogue, where there's not somebody out there in the world who will take what you're saying as being 100%
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
So
yes,
I can
exactly.
sit here and go, I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the best person in the world. And potentially someone out there would sit there and go, no, he just said it. He loves Donald Trump.
Right.
Pose law.
Right.
There's nothing you can write out so sarcastically that somebody out there isn't going to sit there and go, that guy's making a good point though. Even if he's saying it sarcastically, look at the logic. Let's look at the truth. Read between the lines, sheeple. It's just gonna fucking happen. So
Yeah.
regardless, someone like Alex Jones, even if it is a character, even if he's not being serious, it's sort of in the same way you have like the Fox News, spin where it doesn't have to be legitimate as long as you get people believing the things that you guiding them on the path you want them to, feeding the baby birds the vomit, so to speak, that we love going back to. That's what I think of when I think of that. And so I get a little bit nervous when I see, again, people like Joe Rogan with such a massive following
Yeah.
that could just as easily be led towards sort of even a moderate conservatism or a moderate liberalism. It doesn't really matter. He's got them so tuned in to the things that he is presenting them with, and a lot of it is like, yo, what do you think about elk meat? And check out this dude who got these things injected into his dick. Isn't that crazy? Look at that. Stem cells, bro. Check it out. What if you got DMT injected into your dick? And then some people out there are sitting there looking at that shit. There's a I got a little off topic, but there's a dangerous thread in there somewhere. I'm just saying, why don't you think about trying
Rory,
that?
if you want to get fillers in your dick, I don't care. Just don't bring it up every
This is
10
the
minutes.
second episode we've talked about my dick. I'm just going to throw that out there. We're 2 for 2. Let's see how long we can keep it going.
Well,
Well, you're supposed to.
have you injected DMT into it though?
Well, listen, me and my dick took a magical journey to a world full of geometric shapes where we were led by the hand and by the dick through time, where I saw myself as a flower, and then I came. But it was
Joe Rogan
It was pure
ground me
light.
I don't know if I can take psychedelics anymore. It's
Oh yeah,
they're-
why is that?
Oh, they mess me up. They hit me so hard, like super super hard.
The thing about what people talk about when they talk about, psilocybin and LSD in particular,
Yeah.
is, especially for people like us who are, I would go ahead and say that for the people who have listened to this show, no, we're the type of people who are a little high strung. We have anxiety issues, you know. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I know myself, I have very, very high issues of anxiety. Now, what people don't seem to understand about that sort of thing and the stress that is involved, it's like sort of having a voice in the back of your head always. We're like, today's going to be a good day, but in the back of your head's going, yeah, but what are you going to do the next time your parents ask you what your plan is? And you're like, I don't know what that is. Maybe I should think about that at 3 a.m. just before I fell asleep. It's one of those kind of issues. And the thing about psilocybin and LSD and a lot of what people say is that your brain is a bunch of doors. And when you take that drug, all those doors open, all of them, and it becomes an inescapable thing. So for somebody with anxiety, if you're not sitting there in the perfect place where it's like, it's a beautiful day and I have nothing to worry about and the future is just open to me, the thing that's going to come out of that door is your anxiety, and it is going to punch you for hours. And on drugs, It's going to seem like a fucking eternity.
Yep. That's kind of what exactly happened. Basically, I took LSD. I've taken it since, and it was really intense, but I didn't take as much. But right before I left to come out to LA, so this is almost 2 years ago now, I took a pretty heavy dose of LSD. And
ooh, go on.
It was great. I mean, it was great up until about an hour and a half in. We're outside in New Hampshire. We're walking along a river. It's gorgeous. All the colors are super bright, and like everything is
very serene.
Yeah, very serene. Everything is hilarious. And then I had the most drugged out thought in the world, which is, man, this river is just a fucking capillary of the earth, man. And you're saying
Bobby.
that exactly. And people were
so deep, man.
And I was still coming up at that point. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be intense. So about 20 minutes later, I started crying, and I was like, I'm so sad that I'm leaving all this. Like, I'm leaving my friends. I'm leaving this gorgeous nature. Like, I'm about to live in what's affectionately known as the concrete jungle. So, like,
that's what I was about to say, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the affectionate term for it. And like, it's just so
Rat City.
Yeah, Rat City's the other affectionate name. But it's just so juxtaposed. And so I was like just crying, and Lynn and a couple of my friends were there, and they were like, "It's okay, it's all right, you know, you'll get through this. It's you're not leaving us. You're just it's just a different thing." And me being, I'm still coming up. I haven't even peaked yet. And from that point on until 4.5 hours later, I oscillated between crying for sad reasons and crying for happy reasons. I've never cried that much in my life, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it was about 4.5 hours. It's just, I've never cried that much in my life, and I never will again. And it was, the next day I felt incredible, but I was also like, holy shit, this is an incredibly powerful drug. This is
very emotional.
Incredibly, for me especially, like when I take LSD, it's incredibly emotional. It's not really visual. It's a little visual, but mostly it's up in my head. And
I was gonna say, really?
Yeah, really?
Bright, capillary of the earth, as you want.
I mean, shit. Meanwhile, like my fiance Lynn, who you guys have met and is awesome, but she has a completely visual trip. She's seeing fantastic things and drawing them and having, because she's an artist, and that's how she sees things. But man, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that anymore. It was too much. It was a lot.
Yeah. Well, so
I think it comes and goes, because I went through the same thing where, like, in college I was doing it all the time, and it was always really transformative and really positive. And then I got out into the real world, and responsibility and anxiety and all these other things start to impact you, and you can't put them away, but you're introducing this unstable element to it. So it just started to every single time have a really bad, hard time, to the point where the last time I did it, which was a couple months ago, it was finally another great time again. I was like, I came back around. I'm able to do it again.
Good.
And I knew it because I was nervous about doing it. and we started playing music, and I was playing the bass guitar, and I don't play the bass. And all of a sudden, half an hour later, I was like, I'm the greatest bass player on the planet. I need to stop right now. I think I'm coming up. So,
And I think it was a friend of ours who I won't mention because you never know who, you don't want to call anybody out for the things they've done. But he said it to me in what was a really great piece of advice about doing things like LSD and the coming up process specifically. And that was that it's a fight with yourself to remind yourself why you did it in the first place. And that was to have fun. It's impossible, though, to explain to somebody who's never done something like that, because I've done LSD before. Not a lot. I don't have a ton of experiences with it. Like that time he was playing the bass, I was playing the drums. And so we, and that's the thing you have to keep in mind. And the thing people who have never done something like that before don't seem to understand is that you completely on the way up lose yourself.
Yeah.
It's whatever manifestation it wants to take. That's just it. There's no other, I can, what? No. If you're taking a lot of LSD, which I don't think I've ever taken a lot of LSD, but it's the thing where you have to, at some point, hope that you can get your head back to the situation of why you did it. It's not so that you can worry about the fact that you've got bills to pay. It's not so that you can sit there and worry about the fact of going, shit, what are the next 6 months of my life looking like? Where is my career going? Where's my life going?
Yeah.
And a lot of the things about LSD, though, is that, again, like I said, those doors open. You don't get to decide which door you're going to stare at and which version of you're going to get to face. You can only hope it's going to be the one that's, I'm a bass god and the music sounds amazing and I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the other one, and that becomes very difficult to handle sometimes. That's
right.
a very...
And I think that the majority of bad trips occur because people are trying to fight. It's people are not accepting what's going on. And so like I knew I was headed for I never want to say it's a bad trip, because if you accept what's going on, it's just challenging. It's not bad. It's not like you experience difficult, like you see shit that fucks you up or anything, or you like think about past traumas. It's like, no, I mean, maybe
not like that.
Yeah, maybe you will experience past traumas if your uncle had too much fun. But the other, but like, if it's more like I'm experiencing something that I didn't want to experience, but I'm faced with it. So let's figure this shit out. Let's deal with it. And that's the other part about surrounding yourself with great people while you're tripping is like they're on your team. They are 100. If you're tripping with people you trust, they will be even more on your team than you ever thought they could be if you're having a challenging trip, which is always amazing. And that's what happened to me. Is basically people were like, whatever you need. If you need a glass of water or you need to talk to me for an hour, like I'm here, So that was. But after that, I was like, well, shit, I don't want to ruin everyone's trip every time I take acid. I don't know if I should. I don't know.
Yeah, I always, I look at it going forward and I sit there and go, if I ever was to do any sort of psychedelic ever again, it would probably be in a small amount. Because I've been reading a lot of studies these days that talk about how in very small doses and in the right environment, it's very easy to guide it in a way that is a very positive and refreshing sort of experience. The idea of that they're using like psilocybin as a ways to treat, people with bipolar depression, and maybe it's manic depression. I don't want to quote that. I don't want anyone out there with bipolar depression to sit there and go, all right, time to tab up, homie. Damn you, Skimbo Lounge! You gave me bad medical advice. This is like that time I listened to Dr. Phil. But so, they say that in small amounts that it's a very, when I was in Boston, I lived with this roommate, Mike, and I don't think he's listening, so I don't think he'll get super mad about it. One day he came home and I had nothing to do. It was like just a little bit before I was going to go home for some vacation time. And he was like, hey man, I was down at like the local co-op flea market and picked up these mushrooms from this guy. Do you want some? And I was like, yeah, okay. And I just took very little bit, And then I went and played Counter-Strike all night, like video games. And basically, like every 30 seconds, I just kind of like laughed my ass off and fell back onto my
That's great.
onto my bed and just kind of giggled about pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
And just had probably one of the best times ever. And you know, it was very calm and it was very cool. And you know, I'm not going to say that I recommend that for everybody, but you know, a very small amount of something like that only really helped me when I was in a very bad place, because I was working for this company that, again, was this multi-billion-dollar company. This was the kind of company I was working for. It was a financial firm. We worked at One Financial in downtown Boston. So I was in One Financial across from South Station.
Rory, I'm sorry to interrupt. Was this when you were living in the apartment with no windows?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Great. Please continue.
How did you know?
Please continue your story.
I know. So I'm pretty depressed. My roommates were pretty great at the time, but I was still in a pretty bad place. I didn't know my purpose really in life, where I was going. This is before I moved out to Texas, which I did really to just get away from this job more than anything. There was a couple of other factors, but a lot of it was the fact that I realized I was at a job that if I didn't leave it right then and there when I had the opportunity, that I was going to be there in 20 years and never do anything with my life, because it was comfortable. They paid me enough to stay right where I was. And I knew that in like maybe a year or two, I'd rent my own apartment. I would never do the things that I wanted to do with my life. And I was going to settle. And I was incredibly depressed. I was so depressed that when this guy was like, "Hey man, you want to try some mushrooms?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, fuck that. Let's do it." And honestly, it kind of gave me a lot better perspective. And then I came home and I hung out with my friends. And I don't think it was very long after that you know, we all moved to Texas together and I got out. It just sort of became one of those decisions where I was like, this is, you know, it was very clarifying in a lot of ways. And I don't want to put it all on that. I already had the kind of the feeling of like, I want to get out of here, but having something that sort of made me feel better and sort of put it in the perspective of like, it's okay if you stay and it's okay if you go. This is just, you know, it's your life and it's not that big a deal. I don't know if you guys hear it from me now and see my choices where I'm like, I'm in New York and I'm settled and I'm going to go ahead and just move home and hang out and try to do some crazy entertainment shit, as sort of being lackadaisical about my life. But, you know, these are the sort of decisions you have to make in life. Not to get too waxing poetic with the folks at home, which I guess I oops, too late.
No, I mean,
But,
you got to trust yourself, you know, and you and you do. You trust yourself, and that's all you need.
Yeah, well, you get to a certain point, you know, and I would say that it was funny because you never expect something like sitting there with a small amount of mushrooms in your system playing Counter-Strike to be a transformative experience. But hey, here we are.
It happens. It's weird.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, boys, we're getting a little long in the tooth with this episode.
You're a little long in the tooth.
Well, yeah, you don't have to pick on my large
You know what?
teeth.
Look at his long teeth.
So I agree. Also, this has been so much fun. But Koch, I will say that I feel like we talked most of the time, Rory and I. And you didn't talk much, and that was our bad. Is there anything you want to button the episode with? What do you want to button the episode with?
Yeah, more you. Honestly, I want to do like a little impression roulette thing with Rory, where we'll like throw some stuff at you.
Let's do it. All right, I'm ready.
All right,
All
Rodney
right, all right,
Dangerfield.
my first one. Oh,
No, I
Rodney
already
Dangerfield. Go ahead, Rory.
Beat you to it.
Okay. Rodney Dangerfield.
Am I doing the impressions? Is it me? I know.
You know, there's never anything I couldn't do, but that's not my problem. Everything that everybody wants to do has already been done. That's all I got. I'm not great
I
with
got no
Rodney.
respect. That's fine. I'm being an asshole. This is an old dead man.
Okay, I want Chris Farley putting in a very complicated order for a panini.
All right, so we're going to have the tomato on top. The tomato on top. And then you're going to put mozzarella above that. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I just don't know what you're going to do with the rest of the sandwich. It doesn't matter. Everything's screwed up. That's it.
Oh my God! Thank you for that one.
No
All right.
problem.
Rodney Dangerfield making a difficult panini order.
For Chris Farley.
How's your Christopher Walken?
I mean, I guess it's the same as everybody else's. It's more of a younger Christopher Walken. The one thing you have to remember is to go up in pitch and then very, very down in pitch. That's really what makes it. But then you almost get to too much of a Woody Allen type of thing, and it's not good. Yeah. If you go too far up and down, it's not.
It's good. I got a twofer in there. I love it. Oh man.
All right. Let's do Peter Griffin learning about transgenders.
Okay, so we're going to hop on the old Google machine here. Let's see. Okay, what's the politically correct term? Trans sweaterites. Let's see if that works. All right. Okay, that yielded... Did you mean transgender? Okay, all right, I'll click there, Google. Fuck you. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Hey, Stewie, get in here. Stewie, get in here.
Yes, what is it? Oh God, what are you doing, fat man? Why is that on the screen? Are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying it?
No, I just don't understand. So they snip it and then shove it in there like a turkey, like giblets? What's going on?
No. That's not what they do. They keep it in a jar for you to look at and remember the past life you lived.
Oh, I get it. Okay, all right. All right, thanks, Stewie.
Ugh, God. I'm scarred as a 1-year-old.
I think we just lost him, actually. I think he just cut out, which is okay.
It might have just taken him out. I'm fucking dying a little bit. That was a spicy meatball. That was a spicy meatball.
Second week in a row, we're going to get some letters.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
Just logged out.
Shit.
That's okay. It's fun because we're going to have all the dialogue on his end when he sends you the audio.
I wanted to give him a chance to plug his socials and stuff too.
Oh yeah.
I guess we'll shoot the shit and see how long it takes him. But if it's getting too long, we'll just sign off. And
well, how long are we at? We're like an hour. We're an hour 40. Yeah, we're pretty long in there. You're right. We did end up rambling a little bit more about drugs than I thought we were going to on this episode.
See, less than I thought we would. So
Oh well.
I'm gonna get his Instagram up just in case he doesn't come back.
Just in case, yeah. Pump his socials out there a little bit. I think he'll be back. I don't think he'd abandon us.
You don't think he would? Oh my goodness. Well, I guess let's talk about who we've got coming up next week. I think because we've been trying out this 2-a-week system, and I think we're going to keep it going so that we have enough sample data to see if it's viable.
Yeah, might as well.
And yeah, I mean, what else are we going to do, right? My dick is chapped at this point.
Write a book? Oh, we went in different directions. So,
Oh, he's back.
There you go.
Oh, Christ.
There he is.
Christ in heaven, I'm sorry.
Hey!
Are you guys still going,
Welcome
or are we
back.
done?
I think we're pretty much.
Yeah, we were going to give you an opportunity to plug your upcoming projects, plug your socials. Because here's the thing. Every time I talk to Rory, I go, hey, Rory, you got anything you want to plug? And he never does. Not even his butt.
No.
So yes, so there is one thing I'd like to plug, just one. There is something that I'm doing called Robbie in Hell. So this is an animation. Basically, we're trying to get some funding behind it. There's this guy. His name is Noah. He writes pretty much the whole thing, except when I do voices, I improvise and shit like that. But aside from that, he writes pretty much the whole thing. It's planning to be an animated show. You can follow along. I think the Instagram is just Robbie in Hell, but let me double check. It might be Satan and Robbie.
I was going to say,
both of those, yeah.
I've seen this.
Satan and Robbie. That's what it's got.
yeah.
The Instagram is Satan and Robbie. So, yeah, so like I'm doing about half the voices. Noah's doing the other half. We're just basically, neither of us are getting paid right now. We're not doing this for money or anything. Noah's a good animator and a pretty funny dude and a very intelligent guy, and he's trying to get this thing off the ground. So in about a month, we're going to be trying to do like an Indiegogo or something or a Kickstarter just for a little bit of cash to do a pilot, basically. At the very least, a pilot. If more comes, then great. But the Instagram is at Satan and Robbie, and that's the one thing I'm like kind of hoping works because it's actually pretty funny and Noah's actually a pretty talented writer, so it's it's good.
I've seen the clip of you as like the chubby baby Satan talking about jerking off.
Oh, that was that was Satan Jr.
Yeah, it was basically Bobcat Goldthwait, but it was a little different. Yeah,
that's Satan Jr. It's like Bobcat Goldthwait if he took just a little like just hadn't quite hit puberty yet. It's Bobcat Goldthwait prepubescent. But that was that actually was entirely improvised. I think I was just like really tired one night and just improvised that entire thing. I think
It's incredible.
Yeah, the punchline was basically like I jerked off for the 59th time, and when I did it, a note came out, and I'm not upset that I'm out of sperm. Just who's in there writing notes. That was basically it. But yeah, so if you chuckled at that, check out Satan and Robbie.
Sweet. And what are your personal socials there on the Instagram?
Basically, if you search Bobby Gaglini, I think I'm the real Bobby Gaglini, which is dumb, but it was basically because somebody hacked my account while we were road tripping out here. We were in friggin' Salina, Kansas, and my social media is just like, you've been hacked, Facebook, Instagram, everything. And I'm like,
wow.
Boy, right as I was trying to get out to the place where Instagram actually matters, like, oh shit.
Oh, that's rough.
But whatever. So I'm at the real Bobby Gaglini now. That'll change probably in a couple weeks, but yeah, that's where I am right now.
I like it.
I like it. It's really fun. It's good to see you. That's right.
Oh dear.
But man, I want to do this again. This was a lot of fun.
We'd love to have you on again.
Oh hell yeah!
Talk to this Noah guy and see if when you guys start the Indiegogo campaign, you both want to come back on here.
Oh shit, yeah. That and it's good because it'll probably start up in about a month or so. So that might be perfect. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
We can get 4 new followers in that time.
Thank you for offering that. That's really kind of you. So I would love to do that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, we loved having you. It was a great episode until we all got depressed and talked about drugs.
Till we actually turned into the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know if I mean, we made fun of him for talking about DMT. I'm like, yeah, I took a little bit of mushrooms one time. It was transformative for me. Like a dumb fuck. Anyways.
It's like my church, man.
Well, certainly God. Church is not my church, so if anything was my church. Who's surprised? Is anyone surprised? If you were surprised, reach out at us at Skimbo Lounge on Twitter.
Well, for Rory and for Bobby Gaglini and all you other godless liberals out there.
Wait, who do we have on next week, dumbass?
Oh, fuck, that's right. I started talking about that. Next week, OG friend of the pod, Jeff, will be joining us to talk about various and sundry items of bullshit. So you got a week. You can send some questions to us at Skimbo Lounge on Twitter and Instagram. SkimboLounge@gmail.com for the email. Get a hold of us. Give us some ideas for Jeff Pod. Let's make him suffer the way he made us suffer with Love is Blind.
Oh, please do. Oh, please do.
Bobby, anything you want to say before we go out the door?
It's been something.
Well put. So until next time, good night. Go fuck yourselves, and goodbye.